All right, Arizona Cardinals eliminated. They're 3-12. Cause of death was, it's an interesting one for the Cardinals. They were in a unique situation.
This one where it's not the offensive line.
No, I mean, to me, go ahead. What do you think the cause of death was for the Arizona? Why did Arizona not make the playoffs this year?
Why did they not make the playoffs? I think the biggest thing is they just don't have defensive talent at all. Any of it.
Yeah.
The offense has actually been okay. It's been functional. The offensive line has been okay. It's been creep back toward average standard, right? The quarterback play between Josh Dobbs and then Kyler Murray has been fine. The receivers have been a sort of pleasant surprise between various contributions from different players. Trey McBride emerging as a true superstar tight end. The offense has been okay. The defense it stinks. It's just not good enough. There's no talent there. And, you sort of pinpoint various players that maybe they would have placed some stock on improving. It just hasn't happened enough. The biggest issue, I think, is they have no real pass rush. I know the Barbarian has had a few sacks, not a huge consistent amount. I mean, Cameron Thomas, those mid-round draft picks that they grabbed a couple of. I mean, Myjai Sanders is no longer with the team, and Cameron Thomas hasn't gotten any better while he's been there. So that has been an issue. Zaven Collins actually moving to the edge. I mean, I think he's their best graded defender this year. But even that has only been like a moderate success. You know what I mean? So I think they just don't have the defensive talent.
Yeah, I mean, and again, you're given the on-field descriptions. I appreciate that. I'll go back to how did we get here, which was they were in this unique position where they knew Kyler Murray was going to miss the majority of the season, and they were in the middle of a regime change where the team didn't have talent. So they knew this was a rebuilding season. They knew this was a season where they should be picking first or second, and they're right now picking second. So I think this was the expectation for the Cardinals. They overachieved early on because Josh Dobbs would ball out, and they were playing hard, and I think that was great. It was a perfect rebuild for Jonathan Gannon coming in as the head coach, showing they could be competitive in a whole bunch of games, but you knew that the talent gap is just too much for the Cardinals. So now they're in this position where they'll probably pick second, third at worst probably. They'll be able to grab a blue chip non-quarterback if they want, tackle, quarterback, whatever it might, receiver, whatever it might be. They can go quarterback if they want to. But this was the expectation this year. I think we had more hope for Carolina. Again, it's very tough to put yourself in the position of what did you think in June and August and leading up to the season. I didn't think Carolina looked like the worst team in the league.
No.
Arizona was expected to be the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
With or without Kyler Murray, I think so. Right? I think they were going to be.
Well,
and then like with Kyler, it's like, okay, maybe they're a 5 or 6 win team, but they're not great. Without Kyler, they're a 1 or 2 win team, and they're sitting here with 3 wins heading into week 17.
The on-paper preseason expectation was Arizona has a very good chance to be picking 1 and 2.
Right.
Like the idea was that the Cardinals,
the
Cardinals would be the worst team in the NFL, and the Texans would be the second worst. As opposed to a playoff team, like that team actually threatening postseason play. So yeah, they were expected to be awful, and they've definitely outperformed that. So, the cause of death was almost they were set up for this. Like this is supposed to be a bad year.
This is that year. Yeah. It would have been interesting to see what Arizona would do if Kyler Murray wasn't hurt for the season.
Right.
You would say, hey, you just paid Kyler Murray a lot of money. You got a new coach and new regime in there.
So
you better build around Kyler Murray.
So here you go. Cause of death, suicide.
Jeez.
It was intentional. I mean, they designed this year to be a bad year so that they have high first round draft picks, and next year is when we turn it around.
I mean, it was an easy. Jeez. I don't want to say it was an easy decision to do the cause of death that you just said. I'm just saying it was an easy decision for Arizona to say, well, not this year, right? Let's look to 2024. All of our decisions are pointing toward 24. It's not suicide. You're coming back to life next year,
Okay, temporary. I don't know. That's not a thing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I get it.
But it's self-inflicted. I mean, the whole point is they designed this year to kind of be a tank job, right? To bail on this season because they don't have a quarterback for the majority of the year. And, in fact, you could have been without Kyler Murray for longer if you wanted to take it easy on his recovery. But next year was when you're going to have a viable chance at anything because you have Kyler Murray back, you have the ability to deploy those 2 first-round draft picks, and the guys you drafted a year ago are going to be, a season better, like Paris Johnson, etc. So it's a deliberate, self-inflicted decision to not be good this year.
Self-inflicted wounds for Arizona.